There's no hot air balloon in this book. Someone apparently watched the stupid Disney movie and thought it was accurate.
A few years ago, a book-obsessed girl's mother said,
"You know, pretty soon they'll stop printing books altogether and the world will be overtaken by Kindles."
This girl, terrified by the prospect, took to Amazon to buy a physical copy of all her favorite books. The result? A bookshelf filled with the best books ever written, most of which without a single crack in the backing. Unacceptable? Absolutely. Thus begins a year-long mission to read and review every single one in alphabetical order. Is she crazy? Probably. This is the Favorite Book Project 2015.
Today's book is Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne, a French writer in the later 1800s. He's known for two other books, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Journey to the Center of the Earth. Jules Verne's sort of specialty was scientific-y sort of books. He apparently had a lot of knowledge about a lot of different things. For instance, this book has a lot about travel, specifically about India, so he probably had been to India before. And then Journey to the Center of the Earth is going to tell you a lot about, like different rock deposits down in the, all the different things in the earth and like scientific stuff there. And then 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea has a lot about the ocean and facts and things, and he's very good at incorporating this all together. His books tend to follow a sort of pattern, which we'll talk about with this book. So anything I say about this book is probably going to be true of his other novels. This one's my favorite because it's more accessible. Just because it is about, the natural world as opposed to, here, let's talk about how coal is formed and, all that kind of stuff. That's why I like this one better, but his novels as a general whole are very, very good and very interesting to read. Around the World in 80 Days stars Phileas Fogg, which is a weird name, who is a very exacting, very precise, very stoic sort of man. And his servant, Passepartout, who is a kind of crazy, wild Frenchman. And Phileas Fogg is not coerced. He takes this bet where he can get around the world in 80 days with all, it's not airplanes back then. It's, on trains and boats, and it's really cool to read about, like, this was how they actually got around back then. And so it's all of their misadventures on the way to try to get from England back to England in 80 days. Now, as I said, Jules Verne has a very specific style. For instance, his character Phileas Fogg, who is, kind of a stoic, scientific type, he always has that kind of character. You see that in Captain Nemo and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It's a little less obvious in Journey to the Center of the Earth. I believe the main character is Alec in that book, and he's kind of the Passepartout of that book. And then there's, like, his uncle, who is the Phileas Fogg of the book. Anyway, so you always have those kind of characters. You always have the scientifical end of it, and then you always have some, like, strange situational humor that's just a little bit interspersed everywhere. Like, there's always something just weird happening. And then the thing that you get with this book, especially, is that everything just happens to go just the way that the plot needs it to go. Like, at one point, Passepartout gets, like, passed out on opium, and of course, they just happen to, like, the people where he passes out, just happen to take him to the boat that he needs to get to in order to get to where he needs to go. So it's like, Like, you know that it's all going to turn out at the end, but it's kind of like a Bugs Bunny thing, where you know Bugs Bunny's going to win. You just want to find out how. You know they're going to get around the world in 80 days. You just want to find out how. And he does a really good job of continually keeping you guessing about how in the world it's actually going to happen. And there's like a very surprising sort of ending. It's really well done, even though you know he's going to get around the world in 80 days. So, in conclusion, it is a very sweet-hearted, good-natured little novel with some comedy and some interesting scientific facts, and it's just very well-rounded, and I like it a lot. I wish that somebody would make a good actual movie accurate to this book, because obviously the Disney version doesn't, and from what I remember, the 1956 version, I mean, it's more accurate than the Disney, but it's like, it's not quite up to par. But I think I probably know why, because if they were actually to do a movie starring Phileas Fogg,
Free alarm at 21 and north.
my talking point for this week is I would like to know who of you figured out how it was all going to work out in the end. I want to know which one of you is smart enough to understand and to have already figured out how it was going to work. Because I'm not that smart. See you guys later.